Good evening. Welcome. I'm Ann Vollen, Executive Director of the South Dakota Humanities Council. Thank you for joining us tonight to honor South Dakota Humanities Council's 2021 Distinguished Achievement in the Humanities Award winners, as well as the South Dakota State Poetry Society's Poet of Merit Award winners. We would like to acknowledge first and foremost that we stand on the ground which is Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota homeland. We honor and appreciate the Indigenous people who have the longest relationship to this place. The South Dakota Humanities Council seeks to celebrate literature, promote civil conversation, and tell the stories that define our state. We lead statewide advocacy for the humanities, working with partners to foster literary and civic engagement. Our award winners are excellent examples of our mission and vision for the South Dakota Humanities Council. We honor the unique spirit of those who make lasting contributions to the humanities in South Dakota when we award our 2021 Distinguished Achievement in the Humanities Awards. Tonight's honorees have presented engaging programs, hosted diverse events, and provided essential leadership, funding, and partnering to sustain a vibrant cultural landscape in South Dakota. Our first honoree in the librarian category is Cyndie Harlan of Lee. Hi, Cyndie. Until retiring in June of this year, Cyndie Harlan was the director of the Hearst Library in Lee. During her 15 years there, she worked diligently to promote readers and reading events for all ages. The library's book club has hosted many local visits and participated in the One Book program annually. For the last few years, staff members have assisted in the planning and implementing of the South Dakota Festival of Books author reception and lead, and were pleased with the response to their uniquely designed name tags. Cyndie continues to participate in programming at the library and remains an avid supporter of South Dakota Humanities Council events. Cyndie, here's your award. We'll be shipping this to you. Congratulations to Cyndie Harlan.
Beautiful. Thank you, Anne. That's gorgeous. I did not expect something so spectacular. You know, just having the privilege of being at the library for the past 15 years, along with the added joy of being able to serve such a wonderful community as we have in Lead, and also being given the opportunity to partner with the South Dakota Humanities on this incredible book festival, along with other programming. It's all been in itself such a rewarding experience. However, this award is definitely the frosting on the cake. And knowing the hard work.
Am I muted or still on?
Knowing the hard work, dedication, and passion that the staff of our Humanities Council invests in all that they do for us, coming from you, them, makes this award such a meaningful and incredible honor. I do plan in my retirement to continue to participate in and contribute in every way that I'm able to my library and also to the South Dakota Humanities Council. And I urge everyone to please do the same. We're so fortunate to have all of you and all that you do for us. And you can't do what you do without the support of all of us. So I encourage everyone to contribute what they can. And thank you so much for recognizing libraries, librarians, and me with this award. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Cyndie. We're very happy to have given you the award, and we look forward to continuing to have your support over the upcoming years. Congratulations to you. Our next honoree in the individual category is Dorinda Daniel of Peer. Dorinda Daniel is the volunteer coordinator and board assistant for the South Dakota Historical Society Foundation. She also serves as the coordinator for the History and Heritage Book Club, launched in 2009 as a way for people to learn more about the people and events that have shaped South Dakota history. Dorinda has hosted authors, reenactors, One Book South Dakota discussions, and One Book author tour events at the Cultural Heritage Center and other sites throughout Pierre. The increasing use of Zoom has made it possible for people throughout the country to participate in the programs, many of which were made possible by the South Dakota Humanities Council. Congratulations to Dorinda Daniel. Dorinda, please notice this is a award we'll be sending you. Thank you, Dorinda. And wow, look at all the people you've got there to celebrate with you. Dorinda, you're on mute.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. I was humbled and surprised to receive the individual award winner. As Anne had said in the introduction, much of my work is for the History and Heritage Book Club through the South Dakota Historical Society Foundation. And through that, I contact authors. What it really is an author talk, and all of our members are just anyone who shows up on a given program. So my job is to contact the authors and tell them about the book club and convince them to come to Pierre. And at the end of it, I always say, oh, you receive my thanks for coming, but you do not receive any money. And I am thankful that the South Dakota Humanities Foundation, South Dakota Humanities Council has programs, so I can tell authors, by the way, would you like me to apply for a grant from the Humanities Council for you? Well, this benefits me because then I'm not convincing them that to come to Pierre and do it for free is the best possible thing they can do. And it benefits the authors because they're receiving some financial reimbursement, and it benefits those attending the program because they know they're going to hear a quality presentation. So I thank the Humanities Council for everything they do to make it possible to provide quality programs. And thank you for letting me be the recipient.
Oh, we're very happy. Well, appropriately so. We should all be celebrating tonight. Thank you, Dorinda. Congratulations. Our final honoree this evening is the organization category. For the organization category is the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, or OLLI, represented by Executive Director Thea Miller-Ryan. The Osher Lifelong Learning Institute is a longtime friend of the South Dakota Humanities Council. Together, OLLI and South Dakota Humanities Council have hosted programs like Speakers Bureau's presentations, One Book South Dakota discussions, and One Book author tour events. Several OLLI instructors have also been featured in South Dakota Humanities Council programs, and the two organizations often share recommendations with one another for speakers. OLLI Director Thea Miller-Ryan, a longtime Festival of Books volunteer, encourages OLLI members to attend the festival to expand their educational opportunities. Congratulations to OLLI, and thank you, Thea.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness, that is so nice. Thank you to the South Dakota Humanities Council for all you do. OLLI and the South Dakota Humanities Council are what I think the example of a perfect friendship. We are able to help each other out in so many different ways. OLLI in South Dakota is one of 125 OLLIs in the nation, and we are all about learning for the love of it. And the South Dakota Humanities Council gives us a lot to love. So thank you so much for this award. And to my predecessor, I've only been here 2 years, and all the happiness to my predecessor and to our current staff and board. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Thea and OLLI. And congratulations to all of tonight's honorees, to Dorinda, to Cyndie, and to Thea representing OLLI. It has made all the difference in the world to have partners and friendships like we have with you to make things happen throughout the state of South Dakota for humanities. We'll now move on to our next ceremony, the South Dakota State Poetry Society's Poet of Merit Awards. Here to explain this new award is Bruce Roseland of the South Dakota State Poetry Society.
I'm Bruce Roseland, President of the South Dakota State Poetry Society. We in the society keep track of and promote South Dakota poets and their poetry. We've created an award to honor the best among us whose lifetime achievements in writing poetry deserve to be recognized and preserved, the Poet of Merit Award. There are two categories in the annual award. One is for the living poet of merit, and the other is for a posthumous poet of merit. To be considered for the awards, anyone in South Dakota may place into nomination candidates as long as the poet has spent significant time residing in the state. The nominations are vetted by the South Dakota State Poetry Society Committee of Poet Peers. The 2021 posthumous poet of merit is Leo Dangle. The 2021 living poet of merit is Sharon Chmielarz. The family of Leo Dangle will receive the posthumous poet of merit award plaque, and Sharon Chmielarz will receive the living poet of merit plaque. Both of these poets shall have their poetry work archived in the South Dakota State University Briggs Library in Brookings to be passed forward to the ages as the literary treasures they are. So, congratulations to the legacy of Leo Dangle and Sharon Chmielarz. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bruce. I appreciate that introduction. Now accepting the award for Leo Dangle will be his sister, Rose Hauger.
Hello, my name is Rose Hauger, the youngest of 5 sisters of our late brother Leo Dangle. I want to thank the South Dakota State Poetry Society for choosing Leo to receive the 2021 Posthumous Poet of Merit Award. I also like to thank the South Dakota Humanities Council for providing a forum for this award. I have chosen 2 of his poems to read tonight. The first one is Farming in a Lilac Shirt. I opened the Sears catalog. It was hard to decide dress shirts. They were all white the last time I bought one for Emma's funeral. I picked out a color called plum, but when the shirt arrived, it seemed more the color of lilacs. Still, it was beautiful. No one I knew had a shirt like this. After chores on Sunday, I dressed for church. Suddenly, the shirt seemed to be a sissy color, and I held it up near the window in the sun. The lilac looked more lilac, more lovely, but could a man wear a shirt that color? Some might say, that's quite the shirt. I wore the old shirt to church. Every Saturday night, I thought, tomorrow I will wear the shirt. Such a terrible waste to spend good money on a shirt I even liked and then not wear it. I wore the shirt once on a cold day and kept it under my coat. In spring, I began wearing the shirt for every day when I was sure no one would say hi. I wore the shirt when I milked the cows and in the field. When I planted oats, it was perfectly. As I steered the John Deere, I looked over my shoulder and saw lilac against the blue sky filled with white seagulls following the tractor, and not once did I wipe my nose on my sleeve. My second choice is gaining yardage. The word friend never came up between Arlo and me. We were farm neighbors who hung around together, walking beans, picking rocks, and sitting on the bench at the football games, weighing the assets as cheerleaders. Tonight we led 48-6, so the coach figured sending both of us in is safe. I intercepted an underthrown pass only because I'm playing in the wrong position, and Arlo is right there to block for me because he is in the wrong place. We gallop up the field in the clear until their second string quarterback meets us at the 5-yard line. Determined to make up for his bad throw, Arlo misses the block. The guy has me by the leg and jersey, and going down, I flip the ball back to Arlo. Getting up, who fumbles, and their quarterback almost recovers. Then bobbles the ball across the goal, and our coach, who even told the guy with good hands never to mess around with laterals, must feel his head exploding. When Arlo and I dive on the ball together in the end zone and dance and slap each other's hands on the on the back. To give Arlo the touchdown was rightly should have been mine, but I don't mind. And I suppose we are friends and will be unless my old man or his decides to move to another part of the country. Thank you. In closing, I would like to read just a short take that Leo wrote in his last book. It's called No Anniversary. I had a crippling accident 50 years ago, sometime in late August, and managed to forget the exact date. I am pleased in not knowing what day not to celebrate. Thank you again.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you for sharing those poems from your brother, Leo Dangle. And congratulations to Leo posthumously for his award. Now we turn to our living poet of merit, Sharon Chmielarz. You're muted, Sharon.
Thank you. Leo, I hope you have heard that. You came to us tonight through your work, which is just more than a poet can ask for, or would like that very much. I also want to thank the South Dakota Humanities for the wonderful work they've been doing, juggling all these readings and presentations. It's just been great. And of course, I want to thank the South Dakota's Poetry Society for choosing me as Poet of Merit for this year. Living one, it's nice to be the living one. I also had a poem published in Past Petals, which was awarded the landscape poem for this year's contest. So I thought I would read that in gratitude. And it's called, it's a takeoff on Rilke's poem Herbsttag. Now, don't everybody leave their seats. This is going to be painless. The first line of that poem, of Rilke's poem, is Herr, es ist Zeit, der Sommer war sehr groß. And in that, Rilke is talking to Herr, which today means Mr., but it can also mean creator or savior. And he's telling the creator that it's time to get things rolling now for fall. And so I have that sort of entrance to the poem also. And I also pick up on Rilke's next line in his poem, which is Leg deinen Schatten auf die Sonnenuhren. Lay your shadows on the sundials. So I'll use the image of the sundial also in the poem. And then Rilke not only tells the creator that it's time, he tells them to command the fruit to get to ripen. Befüll die letzten Früchte voll zu sein. And give ihnen noch 2 südlichere Tage. Give them 2 more southern days. So I'll have that in my poem too, reference to the couple more days before harvest can be done. Then, since we're talking South Dakota here, or North Dakota, the prairie, there isn't going to be much to do with vineyards, but there's going to be a lot to do with wheat and corn. Then there's a turn in Rilke's poem. Rilke's poem is only 12 lines long. Mine is a bit longer. I'm not the master Rilke was. I was once in California, and it was an open mic reading, and I had listened to about 13 poets, and the 14th got up and said, I only have one poem. And I thought, oh God, thank you, because this has been a long reading. But it had turned out to be 20 pages long. And the moderator cut him off after 6 pages. This is not going to be long like that. But anyway, there's a turn in Rilke's poem that says, wer jetzt kein Haus hat, baut sich keines mehr. Whoever doesn't have a home now is not going to have one. Wer jetzt allein ist, wird es lange bleiben. Whoever's alone, allein, is going to stay that way for a long time. And then the last image in the poem is of leaves swirling around as this person who does or doesn't have a house is simply walking through the streets, wird in den Alleen hin und her unruhig wandern, wenn die Blätter treiben. When the leaves, he will work through and we don't even know it's a he because it's always referred to as who. So it could be she or they, is walking through the streets and the leaves are swirling. So I took that image and I used it in what might be in South Dakota in the harvest time. So here we go. This is called 8 South Dakota Riffs on Rilke's Herbsttag, Autumn Day. 1. You up there, time turner, it's time. Open your hands, loosen the winds, clear the skies. Make sure there's more heart than anger in your long shadows, that the sundial's style shows its time to sweeten dark red melancholic wines. Let field machine headlights scour rows of corn like prowling botsuns in the night. Entrust our hands, the drivers, the rakers, the washers and fillers of jars and bottles, and the harvest bins. 2. A day begins, shadows, the furrows, the combines, the farmers, and mornings on elongated legs bob toward the fields. 3. It's time. Dew has vanished from the field. Mid-morning, dry wheat stands up nice and straight before the combine's header, the cutter, the gatherer, feeding the combine. And from this beginning, a yellow arc of grain, a spray of gold, shoots out into the grain cart, commodity on the grain exchange, maybe 50, 70 bushels per acre. To finish, all a farmer needs is a steady south wind, bringing in a few more sunny days. 4. Following time, the sundial's style moves by shadow, pointing to the hour, each one an ending or a beginning, whatever the wind, whatever the weather. 5. O moony heaviness in the word autumnal, its drumbeat sound, autumnal. O time of the tree frogs chirping rings around evening, autumnal. 6. A small house, an easy chair, so comfy to collapse into in the living room, in sunlight, in faint November sunlight. Whoever hasn't a house now, wer jetzt kein Haus hat, longed for by those without. 7. Out walking fall evenings, a man or a woman learns a lane's moves, slopes, shadows, aimlessness for those who have no field, no work, no stoop to sweep, nothing grown by the bushel. Ahead, accumulation of time. Who am I but an arrogant hiker, a rogue soul, too smart for faith, but still admiring the magic in fallen, smoldering leaves. This is my right, like the right of sun to burn its hot, sure threat. Hurry up, to the fields, ingredients for bread. 8. After an autumn rain, the sky's a fast-moving clock of ever-changing clouds. Cottonwoods turn wet streets golden with their fallen leaves. East of town, husks blown from a cornfield's rows of blonde gray stalks fly across your windshield like singles from flocks of pale feathered birds. They swirl about as if they were on their way up into air's atrium. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for those lovely poems and congratulations on your award. Congratulations to both you and Leo Dangle, the winners of the South Dakota State Poetry Society's 2021 South Dakota Poet of Merit Award winners. Our final feature for tonight's session is a message from South Dakota Poet Laureate Christine Stewart Nunez. Christine is the author and editor of several books of poetry, including The Poet and the Architect, South Dakotan Poems, an Anthology, Untrust, and Blue Words Greening, winner of the 2018 Harlan Prize. As a professor at South Dakota State University, her teaching, creative work, and service earned accolades, including the Dr. April Brooks Woman of Distinction 2020 Award and the Outstanding Experiential Learning Educator Award in 2019. Please welcome South Dakota Poet Laureate Christine Stewart Nunez.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you to everyone. Congratulations to all the award winners. I'm sorry, I'm having a hair problem. It seems to can't get out of my eyes there. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and I think most people are starting to learn this, but I am stepping down as Poet Laureate effective tomorrow. Because I have now moved across the border into Canada, where I teach at the University of Manitoba in the Women's and Gender Studies program in the Faculty of Arts. So I wanted to spend a few minutes just thanking South Dakota Humanities Council for supporting so much work that I've been doing, really not just the 2 years I was Poet Laureate, but way before even that, and being on Speakers Bureau and with grants for projects. Especially the South Dakota in Poems anthology, which we just published last year, and it is still going strong. And so I'm still available for all kinds of programs around that I can visit via Zoom. And Winnipeg's only 6 hours north, so from booking. So when the pandemic ends, I'll be able to travel once again to South Dakota. But one of the things I want to thank South Dakota State Poetry Society for is when I got on the board in 2012, I really didn't know what my contributions would be. I didn't understand what a grassroots organization did, and I didn't understand quite the value of what I was getting into. And so what I decided to do was just to look for the ways that my skills and my experiences could be of use, to be a good, what I see now as a literary citizen, right? To see how I could broaden poetry readers and writers in the state, and how I could help build culture. But I didn't really see it that way then. I just started just engaging in projects like Past Petals. When I entered the board, there was Past Petals seemed to be languishing because of a lot of changes in the board. So I took it over and I used my skills to strengthen it and professionalize it. And then when I handed it off, it's still going strong as a professional, expertly designed, amazing publication. And so I was really pleased to be able to use those skills and actually learn a lot in the process to employ my editorial skills, but actually I learned a lot from all the contributors and the board in that process. I also learned a lot by working with South Dakota State University Archives at Briggs to bring the archives of the Poetry Society there and to try to start digitizing a lot of past petals, the past from 100 years ago, or almost 100 years ago, to try to bring that to a wider readership. And when I accepted when I applied to be Poet Laureate, it was really with the hopes that I could take all I had been learning and take that vision forward to really connect people across the state with poetry. And because that's what I'd been doing since I got to South Dakota in 2007. And I'd been finding readers and shaking the trees, and poets would fall out. So I was finding writers and trying to connect people across the state and to form a writing community and a reading community of poetry. And I think the anthology really did that. I wouldn't have guessed that I would have been only 2 years as the Poet Laureate. When I applied for the role to the South Dakota State Society, it was with the support of South Dakota State University, and they had given me a course release so that I could do the Poet Laureateship work. And so the first year when I was doing the anthology, I had a lot of support from South Dakota State, including student interns and course release and all sorts of things. But due to budget cuts, the second year, they revoked that support. And unlike other states in the nation, South Dakota doesn't have a budget for the Poet Laureate. So all the work that's done, I need to raise the money for, which is why South Dakota State Humanities Council has been so amazing and it helps with that. But without the time to do the work, it's really hard to do the work. So then when the pandemic happened, I was doing I was teaching more classes, double the amount of students. And then really a few other things happened where I had to go beyond the academic leadership at SDSU to get permission to teach online the second half of this pandemic last spring, because my son is high risk for COVID infection. And that really broke my heart to not have the support of the place that I had given so much to in terms of my employment. So when my husband said, "Hey, I think I can apply for a job somewhere else, and I think I'm a good candidate for it," until last year, I hadn't been on board with that idea, but I supported him, and that's how we landed here in Canada. So I know there was some questions about that, and I just didn't want anyone at the council or the Poetry Society to think that this had been something that had been in the works for a long time, really. But it was something of some circumstances just made it necessary for us to make that move. So I hope to stay involved with the Poetry Society. There's no rule that I can't help out if I'm living in Canada, and I still hope to make it to the festivals of books and to be an active member of the poetry community in South Dakota, because I love it and I'm committed to it. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for all your support and all of your grants and all of your kind words and all of your invitations to read and do programs. And I hope there are still more of them coming. If I can't do them, that I can help connect people to the board and to the Poet Laureate the next poet laureate as well. So be on the lookout for those announcements. Thanks.
Thank you, Christine. We thank you for your heartfelt and energetic work that you've done as the South Dakota Poet Laureate, and we wish you all the best in your new endeavor. Thank you once again and always to all of our award winners. Cyndie for the Librarian Award, once again. Thank you so much. Dorinda for all your work as an individual. And again, many thanks. You have certainly earned this award. And to Ollie and Thea, thank you for your work as an organization and everything you've done to support us. Congratulations, Leo, for your posthumous poetry award. And it's clear that your family is grateful and honoring that award. And Sharon, thank you for joining us and reading your beautiful poem as the Living Poet honoree. Thank you, honored guests, and all of you who joined us on Zoom and Facebook tonight. We still have a great keynote coming up this evening at 7:30 p.m. This place is thrilling. Why we set our novels where we do with Sandra Brannon, Mark Cameron, KG Howe, and David Wyden. We hope you'll join us. And please remember to come back tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time for another full day of author events. Thank you.